call to order the City Council meeting of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, Monday, April 4th, 2016, at 5:30 p.m. Everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kathy, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Julie Jules Chandler.
Present.
Councilmember Gerald Cohen.
Here.
Councilmember Pamela Dunn.
Here.
Councilmember Mitchell Crop.
Here.
Councilmember John Petrowski.
Here.
Vice Mayor Wanda Schwer.
Here.
Mayor Leslie Ford Notero.
Here.
City Manager Nancy Gonzalez.
Here.
Finance Officer Melanie Crizono. Here. City Attorney Paul Marino.
Here.
Community Services Director Alan Godfrey.
Here.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Citizen comments. Each speaker will be recognized once and will be limited to a 3-minute presentation on any subject that is not on the agenda. Do I see anyone that would like to speak? Yes, sir. Give us your name and address, please.
Myron Beam, Louisa Drive. Nancy, this question is for you. Last meeting, you were talking about getting a consultant to look into the ordinance. Has that been done yet?
The mayor is going to give a report under council comments on where we are with that.
Okay,
That's
thank you
why
very
it's
much.
not on the agenda.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Let me talk about it. You can if you want.
Yes, sir. If you give us your name and address, please.
Dr. Bill Ward. I just wanted to ask about the provisions in here, which you want to take up in a few minutes, about the trucks. We're spending $57,000 on 2 trucks.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
sir. This is for items that are not on the agenda. If it's
Okay.
on the agenda,
Can I speak it on the agenda then when it
Yes.
comes up? All right,
Yes.
that'll be fine. I did want to ask who the consultant is that we're employing, and you said it is not ready yet, but
Yeah, again, the mayor is going to update everybody under council comments at the end of the meeting.
what update?
Yes.
It's done on schedule.
No, it's not.
thank you. A little diversion from the agenda. Cookie Kennedy, our representative to MPO PPC, has just come in, and she was going to give us an update on enhancing beach access, which is on the MPO PPC's agenda coming up. So, Cookie?
Congratulations on all your elections. Very yay. I was asked to come here by the MPO because we are going to be having 3 listening sessions. And the one that really pertains to all of us is the beach access one. It's on May 3rd. And I would like for as many of our elected officials, business people, and our residents to come out to the meeting. On the second flyer, it's May 3rd, 2016, 9 to 11 at the Madeira Beach City Hall. And what we are asking is, I was talking to one of the other mayors the other day, and he wanted to know what my opinion was of beach access. And I said, actually, I do have an opinion, but this whole listening sessions is about what all of you think and some of the things that you think that we should be aware of, because we do not want to be missing anything as we're going into this 2-year period when we're deciding how we're going to approach our transportation and some of the other objectives. So I'm hoping that you will come, and that's why I came here today to talk to you. Any of you have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Many months ago, we talked to you about our traffic problem.
Yes.
And
to the best of my knowledge, you never got back to us about the possibility of a sign.
I actually talked to FDOT about it, and that's where it stands right now. They're looking into it. And I also talked to, I was approached by the Clearwater mayor about our conversation too. So that being said, I'll find out where they're at, because I am in contact with the FDOT all the time. And
How long does it take to get an answer back? I mean, when they want something, they push it through very quickly.
yes, they do. I want to say there was a reason that there had to be a discussion about it, but I'll make sure, Councilman Cohen, that you know. I'll let you know tomorrow. Yes, I'll get your email.
It's getting worse.
Yeah, I know it is. I will definitely find out for you on that matter. Anyone else that has anything?
Nancy does have the brochures, and we'll get them out to all the council members regarding this MPO PTC listening. Okay.
There was 3 pieces. There's, one is kind of entailing some of the things for you to think about that you might have some thoughts on. The first one's about the date, and then the third one is a letter that our chairman wrote to the editor. I thought you might like to see that.
Okay. We'll get that out to all the council members. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'll find out for you.
Anything else? Okay. Item number 3 on the agenda, consideration of ordinance 16-01. Paul?
Ordinance 1601 is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, amending the City of Bel Air Beach's comprehensive plan pursuant to Section 163.3184 Florida statutes, adopting new goals, objectives, and policies and maps as presented herein below, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for ordinance 1601?
So moved.
Second? Thank you. Any discussion on this ordinance adopting the comprehensive plan? Anything from council?
I have one question. In looking at the residential medium, it talks about shall not exceed 15 dwellings per unit. I was wondering, I didn't find it in here, but is there anywhere that we have any height restrictions in the city? Okay, those are part of the city code.
Yes.
Okay. That was it, thank you.
Anyone else on council? Anyone from the audience? Okay. Patty, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Cohen.
Aye.
Councilmember Gunn.
Aye.
Councilmember Crock.
Aye.
Councilmember Petrowski.
Aye.
Councilmember Chandler.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schwer.
Aye.
Mayor Notaro.
Aye. Ordinance 1601 passes 7-0. Item number 4, authorization to purchase 2 trucks. Alan, do I need to read this whole thing? Okay. Authorization to purchase one 2016 Ford Super Duty F-250 SW2 two-wheel drive cab in the amount of $26,194 and one 2016 Ford F-150 four-wheel drive cab in the amount of $20,950 through the State Department of Florida Managed Service, and authorizing a purchase in an amount not to exceed $7,000 for emergency lighting to be installed by Pinellas County Fleet Maintenance. Alan?
Okay, just a brief history. For the past 5 years, we've been putting money aside in our CIP program for the purchase of these trucks. One of them is our Dodge 2001. It has 53,932,000 miles on it. Also, the Dash is out of it because just over the period of years, the sun destroys the dash. The AC doesn't work in it. Cost of replacing the HVAC in that truck was $3,000. The seats are in disrepair, so to bring that truck back up to where you as residents would be proud of that truck being on the road, it would cost us around $10,000. The other truck is the Ford Courier. That's a little small truck out there. It has 22,879,000 miles on it. It's 2007. We send these trucks out to Pinellas County Fleet Maintenance to do services on them. It's about every 6 months. That truck, we got our last report back from it last year stating that the frame of that truck is rusting out. That truck is one that's in a very harsh environment. It's the one that we use up and down the beach, and it's also a multi-purpose truck because code enforcement uses that truck every day. Even though the city is small, you only have 2 vehicles. And them 2 vehicles, this city depends upon immensely. There's nothing that gets done in the city unless them 2 trucks is operational. We use the trucks to take out lawnmower equipment. We use the trucks to pick up your garbage. We use the trucks to go out to check sprinkler systems. If they're not running, nothing gets done. Like I said, we took the initiative 5 years ago to plan for this so there's not a big hit in the budget. Money's put away periodically for the last 5 years. And the only other extra things that we'd be looking at is we do have to put emergency lighting on top of vehicles. That's the strobe lights. That's required by law. So that's what the expenditures are for. That's why we're replacing the trucks now. So staff is asking for the request to expend our budgeted funds.
Questions?
Yeah, I got it. Now, the trucks that we have right now, is there any value on a trade-in?
In the past experience that I have had, we used to look at trading trucks every 6 years. With a municipality that trades trucks every 6 years, you wound up getting a good return when you sent the truck to the auction because it really hasn't had a lot of body damage and such as that. These trucks, we'll send them out to the Tampa Machinery Auction and we'll get whatever we can, but they're not, I mean, the little Ford Courier, the bed, there's a hole rusted through the back of the bed on it, so your best value comes every 6 years, but we've kept these for 9 and 10 years.
Would it be more beneficial to lease vehicles on a yearly basis, or like a 3-month or a 3-year,
Yep.
and turn them in every 3 years to get new ones?
In the past, I have looked at leasing vehicles for a municipality. There's where you wind up with a leasing being beneficial is usually some type of heavy equipment or some of that. We don't really put that many miles on them, but due to the environment of the salt water and such, that's where most of the damage, so it's really hard to make a good lease when they know that you're going to have something that's rusted out in years to come. Leasing is really good for tax credit purposes, and of course we don't have to worry about that, but most municipalities purchase them, carry them for 5 to 6 years, then send them off to the auction, and that's where they get their best return. But with only the 2 vehicles, I think with good maintenance, Pinellas County Maintenance does a good job with their vehicles. They're very responsive to our needs. So we got a pretty good, if we go 6, 8 years, we're doing pretty good, depending on if it floods. Of course, the new Fords has got aluminum bodies on them now, so we should get a little bit more longevity out of them.
What about, okay, now we're talking about, you're saying that dashboards are all messed up because they're sitting out in the sun all day and everything. Are we doing anything about building over here to possibly garage them?
I'm glad you asked that question. Without getting into, that will come up at our budget session on the, is it the 24th? 4th, that's when we have our CIP in, but when we get ready to go through our CIP, that is part that we're still looking at. We do need to get these vehicles inside. That would help as far as deteriorating, the sun and the dash and such as that. So, yes, that's still in our CIP, and we're very close on that. As close enough as I think we might be able to look at some type of cost as far as development of the property there. So, but good question.
Any questions? Mitch?
I would move for approval.
Okay.
I had a question. The rust inhibitor that they use, is there a coating? Have we looked into it, like a coating for any future, if we do decide to go forward with this? Some sort of a rust inhibitor so that this doesn't, I understand when it rusts, I mean, there can be issues.
The rust inhibitors on most of the trucks are usually just an outside coating, like under the bed and such as that. When we drive through, like anytime the streets are flooded or we're on the beach or such as that, your rust inhibitor does not get inside the channel of the frame and such as that. Getting the newer Fords, they got the aluminum bodies. I think you're going to be able to come out with a little bit longer longevity as far as the body goes. But, they're not really recommending the undercoating of just the frame, because like I said, it would be a cost that it might be all right if it was every once in a while, but these trucks, I've even had them up to the cab in water, so.
The only other question I had, personally, I can see, the truck that was 2001.
Yes, that's the Dodge.
Which is an older car, and I own one of my cars is a 2001, so I know that the wear and tear on that, and I have no questions on that. I'm wondering why the 2007 is so, that's not as long. I mean, why is...
Well, we're coming up on 10 years with that, because the 2017 models are coming out. But that's also the Ford Courier is the one that we got the message back from Pinellas County Maintenance that the frame is rusting out on that.
Okay, and the other one was a Dodge, so...
And the other one's a Dodge that don't have a dash in it.
But we're going still with a Ford to another Ford. Did you look, you probably looked into...
Well, it's one, the Fords have come out with aluminum bodies now.
Right, okay, so that's...
And also, we go underneath the Florida Sheriff's bid list, which is the Florida State bid that we piggyback off of, because we're able to purchase with the state. So the Fords are the most economically feasible vehicle that is on that bid list. So.
All right, thanks.
Other questions? Dr. Ward, I think you said you had a comment.
Good morning, Alan.
You want to come up?
Okay. He seems to know a lot about the trucks that they need, those are up in the country. And so, what the undercoating, would it be worthwhile for the small truck to be undercoated that's going on the beach all the time? And at least I understand that the truck you have now is the floorboards are rusting out. But at least some of those areas could be protected and make the truck last, a year or two rather than 7 months or whatever. And
Yeah, the new Ford trucks are aluminum bodies.
all of the whole lot.
It's all aluminum.
Yeah.
So that's going to help us out with
That'll
that
help
part.
some.
Like I was saying before, when you undercoat the frame, they don't really undercoat the inside of the frame. It's just on the outside. So you're really not getting any protection there because water gets inside the frame and rusts out from the inside out. It's just a harsh environment that we're in.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go out here and look at how your generator is looking. And this has just been up here. It hadn't been in the water. It's just from the mist coming back in and out. So that's the problem that we have. You've really done really great with the maintenance on these vehicles to get them to last as long as they have. Like I said, most municipalities will trade every 6 years because they get the best return on their trade-ins. Basically, we got a piece of junk out here that won't bring much other than scrap,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, I understand that with the small truck.
yeah.
That you use all the time, that you use on the beach and so forth.
Yeah.
That's the one that I thought maybe we could undercoat that at least the cab part of it, so.
Well, the rust on the bottom of it, it's got holes rusted in it, so
Yeah.
there's really nothing much you can undercoat. You can't,
I'm talking about for the new.
oh, the new one, yeah, it's,
Yeah,
well,
new.
the newer ones is gonna have the aluminum body,
Yeah.
which is a little bit more rust resilient than,
Excuse me. I think, we've looked into the aluminum thing. I'm sure that Alan will look into everything we can as far as making these things last as long as they can. It is what it is, living on the beach in the sand and the salt. And, we've gotten, I think, the fact that we've had one that's 2001 is pretty good. And I think, it's no question we need these new trucks right now. And
Well, I understand
Yeah.
that.
Right,
I was
yeah.
just talking about the undercoating. So,
Yeah, okay.
If it could be done,
Yeah.
it would help maybe to prevent the rusting, particularly the
future.
undercarriage where
Okay.
it seems to be in and therefore would have problems.
Okay. Thank you.
Now,
Excuse me.
I have a question. Another question pertaining to, can we delay by one of the trucks so we can get a sound system done that we can work on here,
Yeah.
that we can hear,
No,
we
we-
can
we-
hear what you're saying?
The trucks, can you hear what I'm saying? Can you hear me?
I can hear you barely, yes?
Okay. The trucks are something we need to do now. I mean, it sounds like, they're gonna fall apart momentarily. So we need to get this done for the functioning of the city, for the safety of our employees who ride around on the trucks. So that's a gotta do now
Yeah.
thing. As far as the sound system, I know, sometimes we don't talk into the microphones as much as we should, but try and make every effort to speak loud enough so that you can hear it.
Well,
Okay, thank you.
even our reporter can't hear, I
Yeah.
understand.
Okay,
And they're from back there,
all right.
and I can't hear.
Let me-
It's another set.
One of the things you got to remember now, the funds that we've been putting away is just for the truck. And I'd have to beg Melanie to let me do, so we can't really change the funds. It's been
Yeah.
dedicated to
Yeah.
that expenditure over the past 5 years.
It's-
You mean that's not spongeable, it can be
Yes.
changed to
Yeah.
something else?
Yeah.
No,
Let's
it would be,
let's deal with the truck issue right now. We've got a motion to authorize the purchase. Do we have a second?
Second.
You want to roll on this? Roll call? Get your list.
Councilmember Chandler,
For it, aye.
Councilmember Keller,
Aye.
Councilmember Gunn,
Aye.
Councilmember Croft,
Aye.
Councilmember Petrowski,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schwer,
Aye.
Mayor Notaro.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of the appointment of a voting delegate, alternate 1 and alternate 2, to the Barrier Islands Government Council, the Big C. Patty?
Traditionally, the mayor is the Big C delegate, and then 2 other members of council are appointed as the alternate 1 and 2. So staff is asking that if there are any volunteers, that council make that appointment.
I'll be happy to be the voting delegate.
I'll be happy to be an alternate.
And-
happy to be an alternate.
Okay. Who wants alternate 1 and who wants alternate 2?
I'll go with 2.
Okay, you be alternate 1?
I would, yes.
Okay. Do we need a motion to approve the voting delegates?
Yes, ma'am.
Pardon?
Yes.
Yes.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Tell me again when they meet, Wednesday morning?
Wednesday mornings, this last Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to approve me as the voting delegate Gerald is alternate 1, and Pam is alternate 2. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Item number 6, consideration of appointment of board director and alternate to the Suncoast League of Cities. Patty?
And the same for that, we're looking for, volunteers and an alternate to attend those meetings.
I've been attending the Suncoast League of Cities meetings for the last several years. I'm very happy to continue doing it. Would anyone like to volunteer as the alternate?
I'll volunteer as the alternate.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Oh, Wanda, a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes 7-0. Okay. Item number 7, consideration of resolution 2016-01. Paul?
Yes, ma'am. This is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, amending provisions of the Resolution 2014-02 pertaining to fees relating to the community center use and establishing an effective date. Did you hear that, Mr. Doctor?
What?
Try to see if the doctor heard what I said.
Did you hear?
I heard.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for resolution?
also.
I have a motion for resolution 2016-01.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
The flat fee of $2,300, Patty,
Yes,
is that include security?
you mean security for the event? No, it does not.
Okay. Is it non-refundable?
The 2,300, the 2,300 itself, in the license agreement that the city attorney did, it has a percentage depending on how far away you are from your event date. The closer you get to that date, the more your penalty is. So you're
Is
not
that
refunded
addressed
the full
somewhere
amount.
else? Is that addressed somewhere else?
It's in the
In the
license
licensing
agreement.
agreement that we
Okay.
prepared.
Okay. And why is there no security fee put into this resolution?
Nancy.
Cost.
We discussed that.
And I'm trying to remember, I think the sheriff wanted to charge, I can't even remember what it was, but it was
$50 an hour plus
Yes.
a 3-hour minimum.
Right,
which is
yeah.
a bit
a
unconscious.
minute, yeah. And they required 2 if alcohol was being served. So, 2 deputies. So,
So
council,
you can't force them, but hopefully they will think about it, do it on their own.
well,
They could use
They
private
could,
security
yeah.
if they want.
but as we, one of the things that Patty brought up was, in all the years that we have been running the facility, there's really only been one really bad case scenario, and we were able to collect from the insurance company that they're required to get before they rent it. And the other time it involved a key. They didn't return the key, but they did return it after we'd already paid to have the lock changed on the catering room door. So we have been very lucky over the last.
We haven't incurred any financial loss
No.
from it.
But
Any other comments, questions? Okay. We've got a motion and a second for the resolution 2016-01. Patty? Oh, I think we have one, didn't we?
Sorry, did.
Yeah. Patty, you want to call the roll?
Councilmember Gunn,
Aye.
Councilmember Crott,
Aye.
Councilmember Petrowski,
Aye.
Councilmember Chandler,
Aye.
Councilmember Cohen,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schwer, Mayor Notaro.
Aye. Resolution 2016-01 passes 7-0. Mayor and council comments. Start down at this end. Jules.
I would be happy, thank you. I would be happy to have volunteered, but since this is my first meeting, I want to
be a little more familiar and comfortable with the inner workings. So in the future, once I've been here a while, I don't mind volunteering for things.
Good. Wonderful. Pam?
Yeah, I have no comments.
Mitch?
Just while we're on the subject of the community center rentals, I know we did talk about it in the workshop. Hopefully, if we do have a maybe an additional part-time employee available or something, I'm still not real comfortable with handing the keys to this facility over to people. I think staff members should be at least available during at least the beginning and the end or something.
We've been discussing that. Ellen and I have been talking about that, so we'll keep you posted and updated on that.
John?
I have a question on the trolley, having to stop in Delaware Beach. Would that help alleviate the necessity for more parking for beach renourishment?
To a certain extent, it does. You get credit for each trolley stop. It's not a free event. The city gets to pay, and everybody gets taxed for it. But we can, we've looked into it. We can certainly, get some information out as to what it will cost and how much it helps us.
What would generate the difference in parking spaces
Right.
and so on, and the
Yeah.
amount that we have to pay for that? Is it worth having the trolley come and stop?
Right. I know, like Cookie was saying, that's one of the issues that's going to come up on the MPO PPC's Enhancing Beach Access listening session or whatever, is talking about the transportation. So stay tuned and go to that meeting.
Okay.
Okay? No comments? Wanda?
I only wanted to say to those of you who are alternates for the Big C, I encourage you to attend. It's kind of strange sometimes because I've attended most of those meetings for the last couple of years, to be the only person there representing Delaware Beach. There's really good information that comes out at the Big C. And I strongly encourage you, when you have an opportunity, do attend. I think you'll find it's worthwhile.
Anything else? Okay. Nancy and Alan and I met today with, this is an update on the undergrounding issues and the consultant. We met today with a representative of the USF Institute of Government to talk about doing a survey of all the residents of Belleair Beach to try and gauge the depth of the feeling of the residents about the undergrounding and their feelings about how you want to fund it. If you remember several years ago, our referendum said, should the city council look into undergrounding utilities? And we've, as you all know, we've looked into it. There are two ways to fund it. And this is sort of to get a sense of the residents as to how they feel about, how we might fund it and how much they want the undergrounding done. So, like I said, we met with this representative. We'll be getting in touch with them later or they're going to get back in touch with us later this week. This is not the full-blown consultant that cost $100,000. This is like a preliminary step before we get there. So,
Will there be students doing it?
no, this was a professor, and she has some, I don't think they're students.
I don't believe so.
No, they're like professional survey takers.
Was that USF?
Yes.
USF St. Pete?
USF St. Pete, excuse me, no, USF Tampa. Really USF.
If we do that, are we gonna give some type of cost so the residents know what it's gonna cost them?
Yes. Yes. Sorry. That's all I have to say. Nancy?
You just might want to say that, there would be a cost associated with the survey, so we'll have to find out what that's going to be. We discussed telephone surveys, mail-outs, online surveys. So we really want to wait and see what type of proposal they offer the city and what they feel or how they feel would be the best way to get the information from all the residents. I mean, we're hearing from a handful, but we need to know, you know, the majority of what the residents want. And the only other thing I have to say is I just want to welcome our new council member, Julie Jules Chandler. Welcome.
Thank you. I have a question on the undergrounding. Have we thought about a special meeting specifically just for undergrounding and
We've had
advertise?
several workshops, and depending on
I mean with the public.
well, yeah, depending on how we decide to fund it, we'll sort of decide how we do what sort of meetings, public meetings we have to have.
I didn't know if that could be a possibility
Yeah.
as opposed to, you know, going out, getting people to come in is hard, as we know, but I didn't know if a special meeting, but I don't know what the history of the town is on
Like I
that.
said, we've had several
Okay,
work sessions on it,
okay.
several, numerous, but anyway, we are keeping it going.
When you talk to the professor, did they give you any range of responses? I was a stat major, that was one of the things that I studied, and if you get a 6 to 7% response, that's considered valid.
Yes, they are, you know, this is their professional survey people for
Did
the
they
Institute of
say
Government.
what to expect from a response?
They've talked about what they got in other communities, but, you know, we really don't know what we're gonna get. And like I said, and they will, so I say, digest to a certain extent the results we get back and say, you know, this is a valid result, this we didn't have enough people answer that, so.
I have a question. Will we have a list of the people that respond by address? So it might target certain sections?
Yes.
And just-
Yes, it will be area specific, sort of. So we're working on that. Paul, comments, questions?
No, I really don't have anything. I've provided the city manager with a list of lawyers that specialize in public financing
Talk into your microphone.
and also prepared draft RFQ, so it's all on the mill if you ever need it.
Okay, thank you. That's the end. Do we have any more business? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Done. Adjourn.